Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in the One Duplicant Challenge. In the previous episode we finished all of the research, there's just one more research left to go, but we can now switch to everything endgame, including hydrogen rockets and stuff like that. That is definitely something I want to tackle very soon. However, before we do that, I want to finish up Ozista by actually giving it a more steady food supply. Right now, the Pacus aren't quite doing the trick. I would like to feed this more regularly. And I figured it's not really worth doing something that we need to cook up and that is going to utilize duplicant labor. So I'm just going to set up a simple farm that is going to be quite large. And I think this time around I'm gonna go for mushrooms. We could go with anything really, but mushrooms are one of these things that I've never really dealt with, so that might be interesting. Let's maybe open up a little something here so we can keep going in this place. And I'm assuming we're going to try to also set up natural tar so we don't actually use up the slime, though we have to see just how much slime do I have, and should I just use it to make algae, or should 110 tons? Okay, that is a little bit more than I expected. Let me just set up a farm tile. Maybe we'll have to consider some more aspects of this. Okay, let's check this out. Meal lice will come with a lifespan of 3 cycles. Of course, that is a little bit more in the wild, but 600 kilocalories of food. The blossom seed is gonna take doubly as long, but give us more than double the amount of kilocalories. So blossom seeds are already better. The bog buckets, I don't have any seeds for those, so let's skip those. The grapefruit seed is going to take 4 cycles and give us 800 kilocalories. That means the blossom seed is still the best. Then fungal spore, this is what I wanted to go with. A very long growth cycle, and it's giving us 2400 kilocalories. So for an additional 1.5 cycles, we get 800 more kilocalories compared to the bristle blossoms. So indeed, my new favorite is going to be the fungal spore. Then sleetweed is not going to be worth it. Pinch of pepper, that would take 8 cycles and give us nothing. So that's just a cooking ingredient. What else do we have? Balm lily is also, yeah, no food. Maybe a waterweed seed that would take 12 cycles and give us almost 5,000 kilocalories. But honestly, that looks a little bit complicated. What about the mushroom temperature? What temperature does this need to be at? Like 5 to 35 degrees. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the mushrooms. Okay, so we do not want to supply them with the actual slime. We're gonna try to grow them in the wild. And in order to do so, we first need to set up a little something here. And then of course we have to set up a little something like that for each tile that we want to place naturally. Well, it's kind of a weird procedure, but essentially we're gonna have 3 tiles just like we have here in the same layout. Or we could do something like that too. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter, but let's start from the right side over. I think that might be a little bit easier to accomplish. So right here would be our first tile. That just makes more sense. Then we can surround this, and if we deconstruct this door, then a natural tile will occur here, giving us enough space for the mushroom to grow. And then we still have these gaps where we can set up some auto sweepers. So just like we have here, they will be able to cover everything. Nice. Now I need to make this more efficient on myself. So we're gonna build this storage bin and fill it up with a little bit of igneous rock. And this way I can ship over 3000 kilograms at a time instead of just the 200 that I'm usually doing. And now that we have this together, the building process is gonna be much easier. Actually, does this add up? 3 tiles here, then 3 tiles empty, another 3 tiles here, 3 tiles empty. Oh no, this actually doesn't add up because I went with a different layout here for the right side. Ooh, I don't like this one bit. What if we just counted all the tiles to here? That's, what, 43? Man, I feel like this is gonna bother me in the end if this doesn't have the same layout here. I guess we can kind of have the same layout here on the top and then just add an additional plant at the very end. So probably right here would be the next door, and then everything is gonna add up again with the groups of 3. Alright, as I was building this construction, I noticed that I might have this built a little bit too close for comfort for the plants or the pips to actually plant them. So I looked up a bunch of designs on the internet and they seem to agree on a 4 tile difference in between the levels. So I had to move everything back down a little bit, but then I also figured out we don't have to build one door after another and encase them. We can actually use the doors as an encasement. So if I go ahead and deconstruct this door now, I'm gonna be getting this awesome tile. All I have to do is fill this up and then deconstruct the next door. So if I make sure this tile here gets built first, then I can deconstruct the door right away and I'm gonna be getting the next tile. And this way we are a little bit quicker about things. Now, if we were to continue this, we would go all the way down to here, which is not a convenient length. So I'm not yet sure about the second floor. We'll have to see whether or not I want to do that. But there we go. Now we can actually make some progress, deconstruct that, put the tile at a higher priority, and we're just going to work our way from the right to the left. At the same time, we also want to cover up all the natural tiles so that later we can guide the pips in the planting process. So all of these need to be laddered over and then just keep going. Oh yes, this way I can actually make really good progress and we'll have that farm up and running in no time. And if I steer everything with the highest priority command, it goes even quicker. Well, it doesn't go quicker, but I lose less time during the work hours. And just like that, we got it all. And now I guess all we need is a critter drop-off point right there. And I also want to close this off for the time being, so they cannot escape anymore. As for the critters, cuddly pips. Look at all these critters. Yeah, I'm actually also excited to dive into some more farms, even though we don't really need anything, but it's still kind of interesting to play around. Either way, we want the pips in here, and then when it comes to skills, we'll have to go with a little bit of critter ranching here. So at least we'll be able to pick them up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just wrangle up a random pip, though this one is already quite old, 96 cycles. Yeah, let's go for this one here, 16 cycles old. And here I'm coming. Oh, of course, a little hug. We always have time for a hug. And now I should be delivering it. Yeah, right there. Awesome. Next up, we need a storage bin. Let's actually put that approximately in the center there. And we're going to fill it up with fungal spores. There, seed and fungal spores. Good, we now got 76 spores in there. That is definitely enough. Let's see if the pip is going for it. And while it is doing that, we can think about still expanding it. I mean, it's going to take quite a while for these plants to grow and actually give us something. So while we're at it, we might just as well go for a second level. There we go. The pip took a seed. Where are you going? Huh, okay, I guess it kind of has to come across this tile by accident then. I never knew this because usually I keep them in a smaller room when planting. Come on. Okay, no, never mind. My theory was completely wrong. It went straight for the tile after picking up the seed. Good, now we basically work our way from the right to the left, and then the pip should continue planting right away. Come on, boots. Come on, you can do it. Well, I guess we don't actually have to watch this. What we have to do is pump out the hydrogen and replace it with carbon dioxide. So I think what I might want to do is make a liquid lock in order to enter the entirety of the farm. Then we can use this spot right here in order to enter both of the farms. And I'm gonna keep going with this layer in order to surround the entirety of the building. And this way we have a way to enter here. Oh, looks like we got our second mushroom. Now we just have to keep going. In order to get a liquid lock in here, all we technically need is a drop of oil or something along these lines. But I have to say, now this is looking much more promising. We can already think about how to pump out the gases. Maybe we'll just set up 2 pumps, 1 for each room. And then we just bring this outside of the liquid lock. Maybe right here is already good enough. And then another thing we need to do is probably expand this cooling loop. It's 24 degrees, which is a good temperature. But right now it's only cooling down the upper farm. So what we could try instead of going straight over is to first go down into the room we have to cool. And so I think this would happen right here. We just go across the entirety of the room once. And then I'm gonna make my way back here in order to join this loop up there. Okay, we need to be careful. Actually, never mind. I first have to go to the upper room to cool that as well. Aluminium pipes going through here. And then at this spot, we can join back with the original loop. Very good. That should theoretically work out. Okay, I'm back with almost the entire build completed, and I noticed the pips stopped planting. This could be because the atmosphere got so thin that certain seeds wouldn't be able to survive. I mean, right now they aren't even picking up any of the seeds, so we might just have to go ahead and finally fill this up with carbon dioxide. Something else I built in the meantime is this pipe going to the carbon dioxide pipe that we still have going on. And then I also started to build this rail that is gonna go down here in order to pick up the materials. Like we want to pick up all the mushrooms and send them over to be frozen and delivered to the tree. By now we should be able to just set up our auto sweepers. We're gonna be needing 1 auto sweeper per pair of 3 mushrooms. So they can cover a total of 6, and the last one here is going to be a little bit wasted, but it's going to be fine. And now all we have to do is set up a conveyor loader for each of these. Let's try to accomplish that as symmetrically as possible. Right here, it's going to be off a little bit, but that is all good. We can connect this with a rail going directly into here, and now we just have to do the same thing at the bottom layer. In my attempt to fix this, I actually removed this layer, which I think we can now put back, just to make it look a little bit more streamlined with everything else. The question is just, are we gonna borrow the same wires we have going on here? And the answer is yes. So I'm just gonna go through the top portion here, covering all the machines. Of course, trying to avoid all the natural tiles that we created. Well, I've been pumping for like 10 cycles, and I think I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna deconstruct the pumps here, and once that is done, we're gonna allow the carbon dioxide to enter. So this should come from here, and then we can fill up both of the rooms, actually making it possible for the mushrooms to start growing. Let's see that happen, and hopefully we can celebrate. Yeah. Now this started to grow. And hopefully now that we get some carbon dioxide, the pips will restart to plant. And then we'll have to see, all the hydrogen should accumulate eventually in one single pocket, and we might be able to just get rid of it. Also, something we can do now is connect the loop here. Let's go ahead, cut this up, and the loop should be going down first now. So we will have a nice and even temperature. Well, right now it is even heating it up, but it's supposed to go around 25 degrees set in the aqua tuner. Yes, this is looking phenomenal. Carbon dioxide, usually completely useless, but like this we can make it work. Ooh, okay, actually this doesn't look too good. What did I do wrong? The thing is, I'm really confused. This plant right here got planted at one point by the pip, and then when I opened up this ladder, nothing happened anymore for several cycles. And I'm not sure, it doesn't make sense, because it should have stopped already here if this was wrong. So what I did is I removed this plant manually again to see if the pip would replant it, and it didn't happen since then. Let's maybe move the spores a little bit over just to see. Well, I'm actually only gonna do it on the top there. But yeah, even this one here didn't get planted. Oh, okay, that was kind of hilarious. I didn't plan this out, I swear. So technically we should be able to continue here at the bottom as well, but we have to make sure to first go on the top and finish this before we catch up at the bottom. So I'm not sure this is gonna happen here at the top. We'll have to see. Bring these spores over, okay, and then we're gonna drop them on the floor right there. So the second one got planted as well, and it looks like this one is now just going for it like crazy. I'm not sure. I also reloaded the game once after introducing the carbon dioxide. Man, please do it. Yes! Oh, thank you so much. Okay, we can keep going now, finally. So it was the atmosphere after all that made them not plant it. Oh, I just see I messed this up right here by leaving some items on the floor. So we'll have to redo this part. I couldn't live with 3 cracked tiles there. There. 3 new doors for Papa, and we can get rid of this first one right away. Good, now we're actually talking. It's also good that they don't grow all at the same time. This way we can have a more steady supply instead of bringing everything over in bulks. And now, for whatever reason, they stopped again. I mean, do they take breaks? Guys, I want this to finish! Finally, okay, they do take breaks. I don't know, I just don't get it. I don't like pips, but you cannot complain about the results. Here we go. I would say essentially that's it. I have nothing more to show other than I'm gonna complete this pattern. Of course, if I catch up at the bottom, we'll have to finish the top first. But we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna wait until everything has around 2000 grams of carbon dioxide, and then we can, I guess, remove this pipe again. How are we looking with the temperature? Nice and even. That's what I wanted to see. Everything cooled down just a tad, but that is fine. You know what just occurred to me? Maybe it might have something to do with the growth stage. Now it just picked up a fungal spore. Are you gonna do something with it? Please, please, do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh well. You get the basic gist, but this is probably a good start to keep feeding the trees apart from the fish. Right now I was quite unlucky with all my spawns. Oh, Totally forgot about this planetoid here. Yeah, we totally ran out of coal. That is another problem we'll have to fix and address very soon. The temporal tear opener is a quarter charged. So once we bring over a full load of coal, we should be fine with that. And then what I wanted to show you is that I only got one spawn of fish. Ever since we built this contraption, I was kind of hoping to get many fish in here so we have a steady flow, but I believe this cannot be the only source and it would be nice to supply it from the main planetoid, so that's why we took care of that right now. And looks like there is another one planted, so let's keep going with that. But yeah, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.